Hello, wonderful students at the school in Spain, Otero das Penas. Thank you so much for your questions. I've really enjoyed answering them. My favourite artists are Alberto Giacometti, a Swiss artist who lived and worked in Paris. He made long, tall, thin sculptures out of clay, which were then cast in bronze. Louise Bourgeois is another favourite artist of mine. She was French, and she made rooms out of doors and figures out of fabric, and made wonderful drawings. Mark Wallinger is a British artist who's still alive and is making work today. He makes all sorts of different kinds of art, including dressing up as a bear and spending the night in an empty building in the centre of a city. Caspar David Friedrich is a German artist of the Romantic period who painted some very evocative landscapes. I think those four are my favourite artists. You ask me where I usually work. Well, I work in my studio, which is away from my home, but I also have a study at home where I can write and use my computer. You asked me about my painting style. I don't really paint. Usually I make sculptures, that is, I work in 3D. I'm not very good at painting, and when I try to paint, everything always seems to turn out brown. Painting's not really my thing. When you ask me what materials I use, I have to say I use all kinds of materials, whatever is relevant to the idea. For example, clay, fabrics, plastic, wood, found objects, all sorts of materials really. I like the challenge of fastening together materials that are not usually joined together. You asked me why I decided to be an artist. I always wanted to be an artist from when I was very young. I always loved drawing, and when I was a child I used to love drawing dragons, crocodiles and mythical creatures. I decided to become an artist as a profession because I love being creative and I feel like I have a lot to say while I am alive. It feels important to me to share my experience with others. What's your favourite museum? Was a question somebody else asked me. Well, that's a great question. My favourite museum is the Louvre in Paris because inside it is like a whole universe of art with artworks from all over the world. But I've never been to Madrid and the Prado, and I believe that is also incredible, and I'd like to go there one day. You asked me about my style of art. I'd say my style of art is about lived experience. It's about constructing things out of nothing and listening to what the artwork I'm trying to make is telling me about how it wants to be made. What's my favourite colour? Well, I have different favourite colours for different things. For flowers, my favourite colours are pink and purple. For food, it's probably green. For landscapes, it would be reds and yellows. And for dreaming, it's dark browns, gold and silvery light. Somebody asked me what my favourite material is. Well, my favourite material is probably clay because you can make anything out of it and it feels lovely and squishy between my fingers. My first work of art was before I started school. I did a drawing of an angel from space as a present for my mum. She kept it and I've still got it now. You wanted to know what was my most difficult work of art. I'd say the most difficult works of art are the ones I make with lots of feelings behind them. They're difficult to get out, but I always feel better afterwards. It's a bit like having a poo, if I'm allowed to say that. And finally, one of you wanted to know, what do I do apart from art? I write, I teach art at university, and I grow flowers and herbs in my garden. Thank you so much, all of you, for your wonderful questions. I've really enjoyed thinking about what to say, and I'm so pleased you're all interested in art. Please feel free to ask me any more questions whenever you like, and I'll always be happy to answer them. Enjoy art, and I hope you're enjoying making some of your own. Goodbye.